All right, guys, so in this last volume, we're going to be discussing a couple of the things that you guys may have been wondering. What submissions are there and how can we do them? That's obviously always the funnest part of jiu-jitsu. How can we attack the back? What are the actual mechanics that the back takes? And then we're going to conclude with some closing things where I try to connect everything that we've gone over throughout the duration of the instructional. So it's important to understand that in this segment, we're going to be discussing certain positions and mechanics to attacking the back that aren't directly related to each pass or leg drag, but everything's going to make sense, and I hope you guys enjoyed it thus far. All right, guys, so now we're going to talk about the core of attacking the back from the leg drag, which is going to be forcing your opponent into a single hip position. We've discussed this at length in the first volume and a couple throughout the other volumes. So what this means, just to discuss it again, is that I'm in the staple leg drag or the shelf, whatever it might be. I prefer the staple specifically for attacking the back. And I'm using my weight to force him into a single hip position. So I don't want his shoulders flat. I want him off. I want everything aligned. Why? This gives me back exposure. Literally, if you look at it this way, there's no back exposure. This way, we can create the back exposure. There's going to be certain principles that we follow to attack the back, how we stick next to him, but everything is going to come from this position. So your goal almost always when you're trying to attack the back, whether it be from a pass, from guard, is going to be to force this position. So I just wanted to mention that again, and we're going to elaborate on it. All right, guys, so we're going to discuss the sneaky hook. You probably saw it in the title. So the sneaky hook is something that I think you need to know how to do to attack the back successfully from the leg drag. So let's just show the sneaky hook first. So let's assume I'm in the leg drag staple. Okay, let's turn this way. I'm in the leg drag staple. Okay, I'm here. I'm starting to attack his back. I start to get a seatbelt and he starts to turtle. Okay, I want to be able to sneak my bottom hook in first. So let's go back. So we're here. We have a staple. Okay, we're like this. We start to push. Ty starts to run away. See how I snuck my hook in? Okay. Now, once I sneak my hook in, I can follow up with seatbelt or lapel grip. I can pull him back, and I can throw my second hook in. So one more time. So we're here. The sneaky hook is your first hook, your bottom hook. We're in this position. Pass starts to run, and I get my sneaky hook. Guys, notice how I'm low on my opponent's back. We're not discussing how we take the back just yet. We're going to talk about that next. But I'm low on his back and I snuck this hook in, okay? You don't need to hook his foot like this. This doesn't need to, you just need to keep it tight. This is going to allow me to stop his movement from turtling and ultimately pull him back and start to attack. So how do we do the sneaky hook? Let's go back to the leg drag. So imagine we're here. This hand has the lapel, okay? His elbow's passed. I'm tight. I know he's going to turtle. Go slow. He starts to turtle. He starts to turtle. Look, I turn myself, okay? And then I just sneak my hook in, like so. And then I would pull him back. Okay, so my foot is falling. A good way to drill this is if you're here on the back, like so, have your opponent start to turtle. So one more time, you're here, have your opponent start to turtle. So let's go slow, start to turtle. I make room for that hook to come in, and I slide it through. Okay, and now I pull him back. So guys, the sneaky hook is essential for taking the back from the leg drag. From anywhere for the most part. This sneaky hook changed my game, changed my back take game. I'm always hunting backs, like I mentioned in the beginning of this. Always, always, always. And the sneaky hook is one of the main things for why I hunt the back, how I hunt the back, and what I'm trying to do. All right, guys, so now that we understand we have to keep our opponent in a single hip position using the sneaky hook, now let's look at some different back takes. Some with the sneaky hook, some if we couldn't get it. So I'm able to get my opponent in a leg drag staple. Okay? I'm nice and tight here. This grip is on the lapel, okay? This is pushing. I'm pushing him forward. My opponent starts to turtle. Look, it's going to go slow. I start to bring this knee down, and I bring this hand to the mat. Guys, I keep my chest perpendicular with his back initially, and my chest is glued to his back. Okay, at this point, I start to slide my hook in. Okay, that's with the sneaky hook. It's hard to do slowly. Now I seatbelt. Okay, my knees are pinched tight. Okay, so I'm here like this. Now I'm going to use my toes to do one final push back, and I'm going to pull my opponent to me with a seatbelt grip. Okay, my knees are still pinched. I throw my second hook in. Some of you guys may be wondering why my head is on the opposite side, right? Normally you're taught to keep your head glued to his head and not let him run away. The reason is I'm staying on my elbow so I can follow up immediately with a bow and arrow attack. So let's change the direction. So this is back takes, and I'll give you a bonus with the bow and arrow that I hit more than anything. So leg drag. Turn this way. So we're here, and let's turn. Yeah. I get the staple leg drag, okay? I get to here. He starts to turn away from me. Look, I follow through. I bring my sneaky hook in. I find the space for my seatbelt. Guys, basic back take, I get the seatbelt. My chest is glued to his back. My knees are pinched right now, and I'm going to pull him back. Advanced back take, I open the lapel, and I grab this lapel. I do one final push back, and I keep my legs pinched. Now I have both of these lapels, guys. I throw this leg over, okay? I'm still on my elbow. I never came down. A lot of people try to escape by putting their shoulders on the mat. So as Ty tries to put his shoulders on the mat, he's just digging himself a hole, because once he's going to get to a point, he's going to realize he can't get this elbow out. So keep going. He's tightening the choke for me. Now look, my foot has come out. I push forward, bring my knee up to provide a pillow. Here I can try to finish by extending, or I can come forward, pull over, finish with both lapels here. So this lapel, this right side lapel, left hand, is pulling straight down. The right hand lapel is pulling back like a bow and arrow, like so. Okay? And I'm keeping this over his shoulder. This is still hooking his hip. I'm bringing him down and pulling. Okay? If I can't get the finish here, I'm going to switch to the leg. I can grab the pants. I prefer to underhook, and I'm going to extend. There's so many attacks here, guys. If you notice, I intentionally went over his arm. Now I can start to attack the triangle from here. I can start to attack the arm lock from here. I can start to attack the wrist lock. But all this has been created by me forcing him to a single hip position and attacking his back. So let's look at this again. Over here. Actually, let's turn. So we're here. I get that staple leg drag. He's starting to run away. I bring the sneaky hook in. Okay? I grab the lapel. Now I move back. Throw my leg over. He tries to run away. He can't. Keeps trying to run away. Gets tighter. I force him up. Notice that I keep his elbow and shoulder right by my chest. I bring my right knee up in this case. I'm very heavy. I can finish here if I want. I can switch and start to attack arm locks. I can switch and retake the back. There's a lot we can do here. Now I'm going to start to come back. Look, my foot is straight. I come back. And now I throw my leg over his arm. Okay? 1, pull down on the lapel with your left hand. Pull across with your right. That's 1. I'm not going to keep choking Ty. 2, I can come here. 3, I can lock the triangle. 4, I can take the shoulder. 5, I can take the wrist. I can go for the straight arm lock. I can go for monoplatas. Literally, the possibilities are endless, but it all comes from me attacking the back. And this happens in transition. So let me elaborate. So, let's say we're here, lie on your back. All right, let's say I'm here. Right, I throw his leg by. He starts to turtle. I get the sneaky hook. I pull him back. I come here. He tries to escape. I don't let him. He tries to escape. I keep coming up. Come through. Pull back. Over. Extend. I can start to go for the arm and the triangle. There's just so many opportunities, and these are all quick transitions. So I advise you to drill that sneaky hook. That sneaky hook is so important. But assuming you can't get the sneaky hook, there are alternatives. So let's look. So I'm here. Ty's turn. I know he's going to turtle, so he starts to turtle. Look, I'm going to come up and I'm going to seatbelt. Rather than put my hook in, I'm going to put my knee in. Okay? Once I put my knee in, I'm going to come here and I'm going to extend. Notice how my hip is up. I'm going to push back. As I push back, I straighten my right leg. And now I have the hook. Now my left leg comes over, or I do one final scoop. Left leg comes over. I start to attack right away, guys. I don't ever get to the back and not attack. I get to the back, and in the transitional opportunity that I have, I'm attacking the back. I'm always attacking the lapel. If it's there, if it's no-gi, I'm attacking the one-arm choke. So, one more time. We're here. I'm here. He starts to turtle. I get to here, right? I'm able to stop him. I pull back, straighten, okay? If it's no-gi, I pin the wrist, come across the head. Sorry. I'm trying to attack the neck. Maybe I start to go for the rear naked choke. Maybe I go for the palm to palm. Maybe I go for the arm trap. But I'm consistently attacking. I can't emphasize that principle enough. Gi or no gi, as he's transitioning to that turtle, he's frantic. He's trying to escape. He doesn't want you to pass. You need to capitalize because that's the moment he's going to not defend his neck. He's going to start defending his neck if you take his back. So, again, on this angle, this is without the sneaky hook. I'm here. I'm stapled. He starts to turn. Look how I follow, guys. I'm constantly glued to him. I'm not doing this. Start to get away. I'm not doing this because he just got full turtle. Now, yeah, I might be able to still take his back, but we want to take his back with better opportunities. So, again, we're following. He's here. This is the beauty of the leg drag, guys. It's the fact that as he turtles, we're capitalizing. Not once he's turtling. We're following. He comes in, sneak that hand in. If it's no gi, I'm going to pull, straighten, and start to come across his throat like so. You can try to finish one-handed. You can try to come palm to palm. You can try to go for the rear naked. Like I said, you can try to pin the wrist. If it's the gi, we have the lapels, and we're going to start to attack the lapels. Even if he's not trying to escape because he understands that escaping is going to be worse for him, look, we're just going to bring him to the other side, start to extend, and get back into the position. Okay? I'm not going to go over, I don't want to elaborate too much on back attacks or back takes, back submissions, because this is a leg drag instructional, and we're trying to focus on the leg drag. The leg drag leads you to the back. What submissions you do from the back are up to you. I mentioned the bow and arrow and elaborated on the chain of attacks I like to use from there because I think they're the best and they're by far my favorite, but it's not something that maybe you have a different attack. I have seen some crazy back attacks. So by all means, do whatever you think is best, but I need you to understand how you take the back. You have to follow your opponent. You cannot let them come to a full turtle. If they do, you're just attacking turtle. As they transition, your knee or your sneaky hook needs to enter. So let's show both of those one more time at this angle. Let's turn. So he starts to turtle. Sneaky hook one. Now let's go. No sneaky hook. He starts to turtle. Knee. And I'm able to stop his turtle because of my elbow and my knees, right? He tries to turtle. It's really hard, okay? And I can pull him back. If it happens that he does turtle all the way, we're still going to stick on him and follow. We're still going to get these grips that I love to use. I'm going off topic here, but with these grips, we can start to attack clock chokes, right? We can still start to attack the back by throwing our hook over, falling, using the hook. There's a lot of different ways. But again, this is a leg drag instructional, so I don't want to go too off topic. Understand the sneaky hook, understand following the turtle, understand inserting your knee, and understand attacking chokes and submissions in the transition. So, we've been talking about the leg drag all day, and by now, I'm sure you guys understand the position very well. So, in this last volume, we've been going over attacking the back and submissions. We are now going to talk about the first submission from the actual leg drag position, which is the arm triangle, or as some people call it, I don't know, kata katame or whatever. We're going to call it the arm triangle. So, we're here in the leg drag, in the staple, Old Faithful, okay? And Ty is trying to defend by underhooking my leg. Exactly. Big mistake for Ty. When he makes a gable grip with his hands, he's trying to pull my leg through. Big mistake, because he opens up the opportunity for me to come through and hug. Okay? Once I hug this position, let's turn. In order to escape, what I'm going to do is make a gable grip with my hands, come forward and drive my shoulder. If that doesn't break his grip, I'm now going to extend my legs. And it's very important that the crook of my left knee gets extended hard so I can break his grip. Now I'm going to glue my hip to his hip, walk around, and start to slowly melt myself to the mat. Okay? Once I melt myself to the mat and I have my good gable grip, I'm going to bring my head low. I want to try to keep my elbow, my left elbow on the mat. But keep in mind, we set this arm triangle up from a relatively bad place to get a deep, deep grip. Great setup, but a little difficult to get a perfectly clean finish. The arm triangle is one of those techniques where you're not always going to get the most clean choke, but it's kind of one of the techniques that in most tournaments you can get away with a neck crank. And there's nothing wrong with a neck crank. I'm not telling you or encouraging you to go out and neck crank your training partners in any way, shape, or form. I am telling you, if you get arm triangle in a tournament, not in your academy, squeeze as hard as you can. Squeeze like your life depends on it, because they'll tap. They'll tap from a neck crank or they'll tap from losing oxygen. One or the other. It doesn't matter which one, to be completely honest. So I get here, I melt myself to the mat, okay? And I'm going to roll into his shoulder. I want to roll it up like dough, and I'm going to pull my arm to me, and I shouldn't have to flex my bicep too much. I'm just going to keep rolling and squeeze, and he's going to tap, okay? So I'm not flexing my arm. A lot of people flex. I'm just rolling in and pushing his shoulder into him. So one more time, I put my toes on the mat, and I roll, and I just squeeze. Okay, so one more time. Let's change angles. So we're here. I have the staple leg drag. Ty starts to attack. He's trying to pull my leg. Guys, if he pulls my leg through, this is bad news. So I immediately come through. I come up and through. Make a gable grip right away. Try to get as deep as you can if you're going to attack submission. I come up, extend. Start to walk my legs out on my toes. When I get here, melt. Melt, melt, melt. Try to bring your elbow deeper. Head down. Toes on the mat. Roll, 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 roll. And squeeze till you get the tap. So, guys, this works really well. Not only to get the submission, but also to attack the back, which we're going to talk about in a little bit. And it's also a great setup for an Ezekiel choke, which we're going to get into next. All right, guys, so we just looked at the arm triangle. Now we're going to utilize the arm triangle to attack my favorite submission from the leg drag, the Ezekiel choke. So it's a little bit of an unorthodox Ezekiel, but it is the best Ezekiel from here. So let's say we're here in the leg drag. Same situation as the arm triangle. He starts to underhook my leg, right? That's okay. I'm going to come here and I'm going to get deep. Now, rather than grab a gable grip in this position, I'm going to grab my own sleeve. Now, you can finish the Ezekiel here by bringing your arm over and starting to squeeze. Very difficult, but you can. What I'm going to do to finish is the same thing. So if he keeps the leg grip, I'm going to extend. I'm going to start to walk to the side. Now look, very important. I don't go into an arm triangle situation. I roll him forward. So look, guys, I'm using my chest and toes. Both toes are on the mat. Chest is up. Roll, roll, roll. Okay? Knee comes up like a pillow, as if I'm attacking his back. Other knee comes to his hip. Finishing mechanics, I keep a nice tight grip. I'm going to straighten the left arm as I push down on the right. Super tight Ezekiel. So straighten the left, pull down on the right. I'm not going to keep doing it for Ty. Now look, if I'm not getting the finish right, he's fighting. Look what I'm going to do, guys. I'm going to bring this leg over. Okay? Sit back. Throw here, and I finish here. Same finishing. Straighten the left, push down with the right. So we have 3 variations of an Ezekiel in one. The first is kind of sloppy. So let's do different. The first is kind of sloppy, right? We're here and here. We grab here. We just try to finish, muscle him out. Okay, the second we straighten, come through here. Now look, very important. I roll and my knee comes up. Other knee comes up. From here, I straighten the left, push down with the right. If that doesn't work, I come over, fall, come over, and I can start to attack. From here, I can also start to switch into our triangles, and we can start to attack different arm locks. So one more time, let's do this angle again. So we're here in staple leg drag. He starts to attack. Boom, boom, boom. Very big threat, for real. Grab our sleeve. Can finish here, but we don't want to. We come forward. Roll down. Knee comes up. Left leg comes up. Why do I come up? Why do I emphasize that so much? So that he doesn't push back into us. Okay? So now I can finish here. Okay? I can come forward more. I can finish here. Okay? Or I can start to try and attack triangles from the Ezekiel. Alright, so now that we've seen the arm triangle and the Ezekiel, let's understand how we can utilize these two submissions to take the back. So, assuming I have tie, let's face this way. I'm stapled, okay? He's trying to attack my leg. All this is predicated on this situation, which, believe me, is super common. Whether I use the arm triangle or the Ezekiel. I prefer the Ezekiel because you can follow up with a submission. It doesn't matter because everything's the same. I'm going to straighten my leg and I'm going to follow his hip. I'm going to roll him up. Okay. And now my right knee is going to provide a pillow behind his head. As I do so, notice my left knee comes off the mat. Okay. From this position, I can shift to a traditional seatbelt. I can start to look at bow and arrows. I can switch to a Kimura grip, if you guys can see, right? Like a gift wrap. And all I'm going to do is keep my chest super heavy. At this point, it's going to be dependent on what your opponent does. Our first back attack is going to be just to move our hip this way and swing our leg in and pull him. Okay, that's our first one. Let's go back to that position. Our second, if we got to this gift wrap or seatbelt, is going to be if our opponent tries to turtle. If he tries to turtle, we are going to sneaky hook. Once we sneaky hook, everything's the same. Pull him back, throw our other hook in. If we're not able to sneaky hook, let's go back here. He starts to turtle, we bring the knee inside. Keeping our chest heavy, we're going to fall over his shoulder, pull, extend, and we extend. Okay, so let's look at that again. Let's look at that with the Ezekiel. So we're here, right? He's starting to attack. I get the Ezekiel, I get out, I come here, I roll him up, I bring my knee here. Guys, with the Ezekiel, I wouldn't abandon my Ezekiel grips, right? I would come to my left, throw my leg over, pull him this way. If I get the Ezekiel, great. If I feel like I can't get it, I can just switch to a traditional back take, and I can start to attack the back. But again, everything is going to be dependent on what your opponent does. So the arm triangle might be the safer way to get directly to the back because you have so much opportunity to control. But the Ezekiel is going to be more of a threat for submission. So one more time on the arm triangle from a different angle. So we're here, we make this gable grip, right? We get through, snap that grip. We're here, roll him up, and we get our knee here, bring our leg up. Now I switch to a seatbelt. I love the Kimura control. I love the lapels. Whatever floats your boat. If my opponent does nothing, I'm going to stay tight on the head position, and I'm going to swing myself in. Look. Notice that once I swing in, my right knee comes forward, and I kind of sit. I do like a chair sit. I'm not pulling him back. I'm pulling him to my left shoulder. Look, we're going to go to my left shoulder, left shoulder, left shoulder, left shoulder. And then I can lock. Now, if he starts to turtle, let's start just from there. This is more basic back takes, guys. He starts to turtle. Sneaky hook number one. He starts to turtle. Knee inside. All right, guys. All right, guys, so we've looked at a bunch of ways to attack the back, the arm triangle, the Ezekiel, some bow and arrows, some triangles. Now let's look at how we can revert back to the lower body when we're in the leg drag position. So assuming we're in the staple or the shelf, so it can be the shelf or the staple, we're going to fall back, right? Assuming that our opponent is complacent with the positioning that we've been in. It can use it as an opportunity to start to attack his lower body, particularly the inside heel hook with a major reap. So what I can do is clasp his leg, and I'm going to quickly bring my leg out, and I'm going to hook. But as I bring my leg out, I'm going to extend my left leg like so. Okay, I stopped mid-technique to show you guys. I extend. I don't want to keep it close. I want to extend. And then I'm going to bring my leg in, and I can get into a good honey hole position. Immediately from getting into the honey hole position, I've already isolated his leg. He's not able to lock them. So I can start to attack the inside heel hook. So I'm not going to go over too much of the mechanics at all. The way that I personally like to attack the inside heel hook is I like to put, I learned it from Craig Jones, the tip of the toes inside my armpit, the tip of the toes. And I like to put the blade of his heel right next to my thumb like so. Okay, then I like to make a gable grip. I like to pinch my knees tight, and I'm going to hip in as I turn the heel. Okay, I'm not ripping the heel across his body. I'm just hipping in, and I'm just turning the heel. Okay, I can also go wrist to wrist here, and I can start to turn the heel as well. I've seen guys use grips where they grab the top of the heel and turn the heel as well. So there's a lot of variations on how to finish a heel hook. That's not what this video is about. This video is about the opportunity to go back to the lower body, right? If he does try to cross his legs, I can start to attack the leg that's on top and start to go for the ankle lock here. If it's IBJJF, I believe that this position is still legal, right? So we can go to the ankle lock here. There's some really cool steamer locks if we're able to fold the foot, where we can come here, that are super painful. And then I can always shift my body positioning and start to attack a knee bar or a toe hold or whatever we see fit. So again, the concept is that we're in the leg drag, maybe we're in the staple, we're going to cup the leg, keep tight, fall back, extend, and get into this position. If we want, we can pull this leg through, and we can get into a full honey hole position. We can start to attack the foot lock, the steamer lock. We can start to look for the inside heel hook. There's a bunch of different attacks that we can do, but this is going to open up a whole other realm of possibilities that we might not have otherwise been, utilized. So just remember that when you're in the leg drag, you can always fall back. So again, okay, even if you don't want to fall into a full reap, you can fall back into here, like the single leg X position, start to attack the heel hook, you start to extend, sit into the ankle locks. There's a lot of different leg attacks that we can get into from the leg drag. So I wanted to share it with you guys. Alright guys, so another concept that I wanted to show you before we end the instructional is that you can re-invert to the back. So this kind of goes along with the rolling leg drag that I've been showing at the end of these segments, where sometimes you might not be able to pass or you might be struggling, and it seems counterintuitive because you're ending up in at the same place sometimes, or you're taking the back, is since we're already in the leg drag, why would you do it? I'm here, right? And maybe my opponent's framing and he's pushing me, shoving my face, and he's working hard to keep me away. Sometimes you can re-invert to the back. Now, this may seem intimidating for some of you. You can look at it as a bonus technique. It's not the most important technique on the video, but you can start to fall this way and roll over as I hug his hip and start to bring him here. From this position, right, we're kind of in this weird backwards place. I can start to hunt his back, right? I can start to come over, and I can start to try to attack his back. Let's go back. But most of the time, what I end up doing from here is just putting myself in a better position to leg drag. So rather than hunt his back and make it all complex, I just switch my legs, come up, and just leg drag on this side. And now since I have this grip underneath his waist, let's turn. Underneath his waist, I'm able to really force him on his side, at which point I can start to attack with the sneaky hook, and I can take his back. So why I said it would be counterintuitive in the beginning is because we're going from one leg drag to another leg drag, but that waist grip is really hard to get, so we're really doing it just to get that. So again, we're here. I'm going to grab for that waist already. I go through. I'm going to roll. Okay. I have the waist grip. Now I'm just going to switch. And I'm going to bring this leg inside. And I get to here. And now again, because of the waist grip, I can force him to turtle. And I can start to attack his back. So, might seem intimidating to try initially. But that big hug grip is so effective and such a strong grip that if there's a chance you can get it, go for it. I would not recommend this as your first plan at all, but let's look at it from another angle. So we're here in the leg drag. We do all this fancy stuff. We go upside down, right? And now we start to hunt the leg drag here. Boom, but look at this grip we got. Okay, this grip is going to allow us with the belt or with the collar to shove tie up. Once we shove tie up, we can insert our knee and we can start to attack his back. So that waist grip is super, super useful. So anyways, like I said, it wouldn't be my first plan of attack. It's more for fun, more to show you the direction that you can take with the leg drag and how universal it is and how many ways you can attack it. But it is useful. I've definitely used it before in the academy. All right, guys, now it's time to review some of the concepts, principles, and techniques that we've gone over in the instructional thus far. So very quickly, we're going to go over 4 hours of material in 10 minutes or 5 minutes, whatever it takes. So we started off with our 3 basic variations of the leg drag. By now, we can move much quicker because you know them so well. We've got our staple, where my ribs hold his leg across my body. My elbow comes in front of his knee. I can try to pin his body by misaligning his spine. I can try to force the back. We all know how to do that now, especially from this volume. We've got our shelf or combat base, where I keep his leg shelved across my body. My elbow is in front of his knee. I keep my ribs heavy. We've got our standing leg drag. That's kind of a bridge to the shelf or the staple, right? The standing leg drag is the same thing. We keep the knee across the body. We keep our rib pressure there, and we start to attack it from here. So from our 3 leg drag variations, in our second volume, after understanding the concepts and principles, we talked about the leg drag from the Toreando, how we can go into standing, staple, shelf, right? We talked about the X-Pass leg drag, how we can go into staple quickly. Whenever we go into the staple from our passes, we're shooting like we're shooting a shot. So again, we're here. Okay. We also have our circle pass, right? We've got our punch passes, right? We've got our folding passes. Okay. We've got our knee slices. But most importantly, from all these passes, I'm not going to go over every single one. We want to understand the 1 in, 1 out position. So again, turn this way. The 1 in, 1 out is with 1 leg inside, 1 leg outside. And from this, we discuss De La Riva control, how we can pass, get to this position. We discuss some reverse De La Riva passes from this position. We discuss spider guard stuff, lasso guard stuff, and all this stuff. The reason I'm demonstrating all this right now is so that you understand that so many of these concepts have been applied and reapplied, applied and reapplied, applied and reapplied. And that although you might have taken in so much information while watching this instructional, you're actually utilizing a lot of the same information repetitively over and over and over again. And I hope you don't think you got ripped off, but that's the best way to learn. Because if we look at the best guys, I only study things that the best guys do because they're the best. If you look at anybody who's really good, for the most part, we have like Lucas Lepri's infamous for his knee slice, Bernardo over-under, Marcelo single leg XX and butterfly, and his guillotines. Chrome Gracie, guillotines, Rafa Mendes, leg drags and Bremblos, Miyao brothers, Bremblos. They always have a technique that's synonymous with their name. And the reason that is because they have practiced those techniques more than anyone else in the world. That's why they're so good at them. And the name of the game is just about putting somebody in your world. And so the whole goal of this instructional was making the leg drag part of your world. The reason that, because I don't like to show my entire game. I like to teach broad and conceptually, because if I show Ty every aspect of my personal game, he's going to change it because he has a different body type, right? He's bigger, he's stronger, not as good looking, but no, I'm kidding. He's going to change it. So what I'm trying to get at is the leg drag is a universal position that anybody can utilize. So no matter what your game is, which was the goal of this instructional, whether you're a stack passer, pressure passer, over-under passer, a finesse passer, you can take the leg drag and utilize it as a component in your game. Whether you are pinning and controlling somebody, submitting somebody, taking the back, the leg drag isn't something somebody would build their whole game off of. They wouldn't just be the leg drag guy. It would be part of the game, right? So again, you can over-under to leg drag, you can stack pass leg drag. So that is the end goal of this instructional. And I hope you guys have enjoyed it so far. I hope it has helped you. And thanks so much for watching, guys. You rock. All right, guys, like I said before, I hope you enjoyed this instructional. If you guys want to see any more of my content, there's some more on BJJ Fanatics. I have a half butterfly guard instructional. I also have my YouTube account, which is growing rapidly thanks to you guys. I'm really active in the Facebook group. I try to be active on Reddit. So if you guys ever want to get at me with any questions, I'm always open to answering questions. Most of you guys who've already purchased my prior instructional probably know that. But I wanted to thank you guys for helping make it possible. And I want to thank BJJ Fanatics for giving us a platform to spread our knowledge. And if you ever come by the Bernardo Free Academy in Massachusetts, give me a shout out. Come take one of my classes. Os.